This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
Oh, yeah. So you probably want to get yours up a little bit closer.
Okay.
You can grab just...
All right. Yeah. And co-host Marnie Winfield.
I got nothing.
Well, let's talk recovery.
Is that, are we supposed to finish that sentence or something?
No. It is the 8th of March, 2022. My name is Corey Winfield.
My name is Marnie Winfield.
Welcome. 217 Recovery Podcast, where you can win a free 217 Recovery shirt.
What?
Yeah, it's online. 217recovery.com. If you got the app, go to connect and you'll see win a free shirt. Yeah. Everybody who signs up wins, by the way. Mm-hmm. Well, FYI. If you don't believe me, sign up. See if you don't get some in the mail. Just saying.
Just saying.
You even pick your size.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty simple. And since we like to give things, you might as well get things. You know?
Yeah.
That we say we never gave you nothing? Yes, we did.
Sure did.
Sure enough.
Because you didn't ask.
Mm-hmm. So today, our friend Laura was like, I don't think we have a sound effect for that, but I need I need a sound that's like maybe this.
Okay. That's a good Laura. That's a good time travel.
Yeah, that takes us back to a month ago when she was here.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to come on your podcast on March 8th. And then
we'll
announce that, I'm going to do a podcast with you guys. And yeah, she was going to do a podcast. She's talking about it. I was like, yeah, you can use, 217 stuff. Like, sure. I didn't hear from Laura today.
Aw, maybe she's too busy.
No, she is super busy. Yeah. And we're still open to the idea. So stay tuned. Mm-hmm. There's your big announcement for the 8th of
I think
March.
she was just teasing with the 8th because it is the day, National Women's Day, or what's the actual technical?
I don't know what day it is.
I heard it earlier as well.
Okay.
But so maybe she just got wrapped up in that.
Yeah.
But she's still planning on doing that, as far as we know.
Yeah, as far as I know. And yes, like I said, still welcome to it. I think it'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
It's going to be like a women podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, cool. But she's busy. And if you're going to start a podcast, if you just want to mess around with it, sure. But when I started the podcast, I started looking at other recovery podcasts. And I've talked about it before where I went to some of them and they just stopped. And then it's just kind of like, what happened there? Mm-hmm. So I didn't want that to happen with me. And that's why, just being consistent with it and doing it every time for the most part, for the first, 2 years, we were like money, until COVID hit and we got sick in September of 2021. It was, first it started out for a week and then it was Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And then we would do the replay on Sundays and miss a couple of those every once in a while, but there's so many that listen to. It's over 620 episodes, I think, something like that.
Right.
Again, the most episodes that talk about recovery by any podcast in the world. You listen to 217 Recovery. That's our record. Mm-hmm. And we just added to it with this one.
So I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
Laura's Women podcast.
Yes.
That is for women by women. Yeah.
Don't want to say, but I think so. Okay. I mean, men will probably listen. It's like they say, if two guys have a podcast, it's only for men. Women are listening because they want to hear what men are talking about. So.
Well, I mean, it kind of goes for the same. We've talked about this before about you having all men's meetings, mm-hmm. Or all women's meetings. Mm-hmm. Not that anything that's shared there wouldn't be beneficial to the opposite sex, but there's something to be said when you're, only around your gender in terms of comfortability maybe and openness and being vulnerable or,
sure.
I
know that for guys for a fact and maybe for women too, but you see guys and they act different mm-hmm. around women. You don't want to put on a little front. Yeah, well, hey, what's up, girl? Mm-hmm. Where if you take the female out of the equation, they can open up more and they don't have to be like, yeah, man, I got this bike and this Harley and all this money and stuff. I just don't want to get at it right now because I'm trying to figure some things out, but it's so awesome.
Do you think that translates over to like therapists?
You mean like if a male has a female therapist?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. Well, it depends. If, say, therapist looks like Cindy Crawford back in 1992, I would be like, whoa.
Your forever crush?
Yeah, but see, I would be like, oh my God, like there's no way in hell. Like I shouldn't even be in this room with her. But if, I don't know, like I guess what I'm trying to say, if you're attracted to the person, it could be, but I mean, the therapist should be professional enough to be like, hey, I'm not going to do a Sharon Stone here and cross my legs and see if I'm wearing my panties. Just saying, it shouldn't happen, but I'm sure it does. But yeah, I don't know. Like, if you're not comfortable with your therapist, if you don't feel like you can tell your therapist everything, you're wasting everybody's time.
Yeah.
Meet homegirl at the bar later. Well, probably not at the bar later, because that would mean that you probably would just.
Where did you? That was a total flip there.
I know. Just saying, the coffee bar is what I meant.
Oh, okay.
No, but meet her somewhere later, wherever you would want to meet her. But yeah, don't use the therapy session. Try hooking up or not even that really, because I mean, a person doesn't necessarily have to be trying to hook up with a therapist, but I don't want to let her know how vulnerable I am or all the stupid stuff that I've done
or like embarrassing stuff or, stuff that we carry around that's
again, if you're in a room with somebody and this is your therapist and you're feeling like you can't be you, 100% you,
right, you're
wasting people's time.
Yeah. So I think I agree with that.
Just move on and just say, hey, this isn't going to work. Nothing against you, but
because I've had both a female and a male therapist that I just didn't jive with. It wasn't that I was uncomfortable like sharing stuff. It was just, I don't know. There was this, it was like one of them was, I just got head nods, a lot of head nodding and like just saying, all the time. So that kind of was like, that was my first, yeah, exactly. That was my first time in therapy where I'm like, I'm supposed to talk about my problems, right? Exactly. It was exactly like that. So, and then it just felt really awkward. So I didn't get to that point where I could, get, and it's not that you're looking for feedback per se, but like, at least steer me in the right direction to deal with my problems. You're doing it on purpose.
Yeah. And maybe that's the school that they went to, is what they said. Just let them talk. Don't talk back to them. Don't, acknowledge them. Just, Yeah, because then they know you're listening. Because that is, active listening when you react. So maybe that was just that. But yeah, if you're not comfortable, just move on. Find that right one. Or maybe I'll give one more session, or, just maybe explain to them like, I don't like you telling me what to do, or I don't like the head nods. Like, it's just not working. But I can't say that to them because that's going to offend. Who cares?
No, they don't. And the thing is, if they're professional, they'll understand that there's just some people aren't a good fit, and they won't. It's not like they're going to cry about it. Probably won't cry about it.
If they do, flip the script and be like, "You want to talk about it?" and start nodding.
So yeah, no, but I mean, you don't even need to give them a reason. It's just like, this isn't working out. I think I need to find somebody else to talk to, and they'll be like, okay.
Yeah, because
you can even ask for a referral if you wanted.
You're there for you and point out some things you want to work on, things that are bothering you or things that are weighing heavy on your mind. Get those things out. That's what it's for.
Right.
It's fine.
And you can't go in there thinking they know what to ask you. They're not mind readers. They'll only know what you tell them. But the piece that I love about therapy the most is that it's an unbiased person who is neutral in their thought patterns about what you're saying. So they're not coming from one or the other side of anything. And it's a sounding board. So even though I just said, when all I was doing was talking, I didn't get any like constructive guidance to my thoughts. That's kind of what I looked for. That's what I was wanting. It's like, you're hearing what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying, but like, help me make sense of it. You know, and you can identify things that I know that maybe I'm missing, or things that I haven't acknowledged that are, you know, that I'm holding back or haven't looked into or afraid to look into. And that's where the real progress is made. You know, it hurts before you heal kind of thing.
Yep. But you start getting used to it, and you start, you build that rapport, and it just becomes kind of a natural, like you would just talk to, I don't want to say your friend, but whoever you would talk to and confide in, whether it be a coworker, parent, whatever, you know, like it becomes like that. But you can't tell your mom everything.
Right.
You know, you can't tell your coworker everything. You have to be fired.
Right.
But yeah,
some people, they don't want to hurt your feelings. So they're not going to tell you what they're really recognizing is, you know, an issue for you.
Yeah.
And you might not even recognize it's an issue for you.
Man, Susan is my therapist. She works for Pyramid of Hope.
She blows your mind sometimes.
No, I thought she was going to drop me. I thought she was going to say, "We're done. Never talking to you again." But no, she works Pyramid of Hope, Boyne City, and we do the video stuff because I don't drive to Boyne City. It works out well. But no, like I was telling her, I don't remember what I got off on a Corey little tangent, you know.
No.
So that was fun. And I was telling her that it's not fair for, you know, people like me. My drug of choice is right there at the store. Because we were talking about harm reduction, and I was saying we're going to do outreach with Addiction Treatment Services. They got a van for us, and Tyrone and I are going to go around. We're going to help people, and we're actually going to meet them where they're at, you know.
Literally.
Different places, and it'll be fun. But I was talking about that, and I was like, you know, people, to my knowledge, I'm not a heroin user, never really, well, I did once, but it wasn't like I didn't shoot up or anything like that. But when I go to the store, there's mine right there staring me in my face. There's the alcohol. There's the, you know, and I was like, my knowledge is people are dying from the fentanyl.
Yeah.
You know, not the actual heroin. So why shouldn't people be able to, because, I think Eric Omron's thing that it was not his, but he shared it. And it was like, hey, you know, a bar. We've talked about this a few podcasts ago. But my thing was like, if it was regulated, like why couldn't they buy opium in the store? And she's like, Corey,
I think they do that in like
I was like, well, doctors
Denmark.
give it to you, right? Yeah, there are a few countries that do that.
Yeah.
I don't hear people like, oh my gosh, they're just dying left and right. Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't. I mean, but I don't think people use heroin because they're like, I want to do so much, I'm going to die today. I can do that with alcohol.
Yeah.
I was trying to explain that to Susan. She's like, no. I'm like, I think people do the heroin. It's kind of like alcohol. I think you get trapped in it, and then you have to do it just not to be sick. You know, it started out as, oh man, that makes me feel good. Again, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just assume the people I've talked to, that kind of what I get from them about that.
Yeah. I heard a story the other day. A guy was sharing about one of his many overdoses. And he was saying that he had like 2 packets, whatever that means. And he hadn't done it in a while. He did the first one and it was great. And he goes, and the next thing I remember, I guess I did the second one. And I woke up and they had told me they had to revive me, you know, with Narcan. That's our mentality as an alcoholic. It's, if I want 1, then 2 is better. And if I have 2, then 3 is better. I will drink till there either there's nothing left to drink, or I'm so out of it, you know, that I'm content, you know, where I recognize like now I can't walk. So better stay still for a little while.
Yeah. Oh, I just woke up. It's 3 a.m. All right. I better go to bed.
Yeah.
You know, the whole drink until you're passing out. That's what I did too. You know, it's never, let me just have a few beers and get a good buzz and enjoy it. No, because let's go further with it, you know. But at the end, though, it just got to so much. It was like a fifth just to get me balanced. And that was horrible, you know. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm drinking more. And it's a horrible cycle. But I think it's the same. And it's like, wouldn't that prevent a lot of deaths? I don't know. I think maybe it could.
I don't know. Because
I think if you're like, oh, yeah, I don't know.
There's a huge, I had a coworker of mine. He's now no longer with us, but he was a total advocate. No, he moved on. jobs.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Moved
okay.
jobs.
The way you said
Sorry.
it, I thought, I'm like, wow.
Okay, no, he just moved to a different job.
Good for him.
But anyhow, he was a huge advocate for that, saying like, and he had like research and stuff and looked into articles about however many overdoses are over. I think he said Denmark. I'm pretty sure he said Denmark, but and that when it was legalized, that less people were abusing it.
Yeah.
To the point of overdosing. And plus, like you said, it's not so much the problem of the quantity of heroin, it's what it's laced with now.
Yeah.
And there's no sort of like guideline on what all is in it. The kitchen sink.
Yeah. There was some movie that I watched. I don't remember the name of it, so that's got to help you. But the guy was making moonshine. Oh, no, maybe it was one of those killer shows. Like he killed the whole block. Mm-hmm. But he was making moonshine and he was like putting gasoline in it or something and it like messed these people up. Kind of same thing, that's why that's why I'm not or didn't go buy moonshine from people out in the hills of Arkansas, no, mine's right there at the store. Thanks. Like that does the trick for me. Like you wouldn't go seek it out. Oh, that's better or badder. I'm good with this, but it seems like it would be a better thing to do, if you know who you're getting it from. And her thing was like, yeah, but people die. And I'm like, my personal opinion is alcohol is still worse. Again, it's not the opiates, it's not the heroin that they're dying from. I guess it is the opiates because fentanyl, but it's not that they're dying from. It's the stuff that other people are putting in it. And there's test strips that you can buy to see if it's laced with fentanyl. But then people are like, oh yeah, I want a little bit of it, but just not that much,
Right. What are you going to do at that point?
Yeah, if you're like, hey,
not going to do that one because it's that.
Yeah, here's the stuff I can go, get, and I know what's in it, and I'm not going to. At least I know what's in it. Man,
that just makes my heart beat fast just thinking about it. Like nervous, you know what I mean? Like the whole concept of that. I could not even imagine. Like once it's done, like that's what the overdose. Like it's just a split second.
Yeah.
It's not like, I'm woozy and I, keep taking another sip. I shouldn't take another sip. This is like once it's in you, man, like game over.
But people die every day from alcohol too. Doing it too much, and there's I'm sure people could die like this from all kinds of things. But you hear about the person who got really drunk, fell down the stairs, and broke his neck. I've heard that a lot. And again, that could be pretty much with anything really, but I don't know. But so when I was talking about that, Susan was like, you've lost your mind, Corey. Like, I was like, no, Susan, think about it. She's like, no, that's a horrible idea. Is it? I don't know. Just throwing it out there. I'm not saying it's the right thing. I'm not saying it's the wrong thing. I'm just saying this. Should we talk about it at least?
Yeah.
Like you said, let's see some facts with the guy that you were talking about. If that was somebody's drug of choice, they're going to look into it a lot more than I'm going to. I'm just throwing it out there.
That was the situation.
I'd probably thrown it out there, but just mention it to her, my therapist, and thought she was going to drop me.
Fire you?
Yeah. I can't talk to you no more, Corey. But no, Susan's pretty cool though. And to have that relationship with somebody that you can just like spill the beans to, and it gets things off my chest, and it helps me put things in order of, okay, well, I'm not doing that, or maybe I should do this, or yeah, you're right, and it just helps.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of helping, I got an email from Kevin.
All right.
And Kevin, if you're new to the show, welcome. Kevin emailed me when we first started, and I was having this issue of looking at numbers. Being a radio guy, I want to see the ratings. I want to see how many people listen. I want to see where they're listening. I want to see it all. And I started like realizing that we don't know everybody who's listening. I mean, there's a lot of people that listen together. It still tells me that not one female has ever listened to this podcast. So, I mean, you just don't believe the numbers, And I was like, man, how am I going to know if like we're reaching the people? And well, Kevin sent an email. Said, hey, I was doing a search for Recovery Podcast, came across you guys, dig it, love what you're doing. In St. Louis, And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then it was like, all right, God, thanks. Because God knew I was struggling with that. And I was like, God, how do I know? And yeah, so if someone's looking for it, and they find us, cool. You know, that's how I know it works. It doesn't matter if we have 70, 80,000 plays. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, it really doesn't. You know, as long as that one person who might need to hear what we're saying today helps them, cool.
Yeah.
But Kevin emailed me and he wanted to know, he's thinking about going to Michigan, which is where we're at, for the summer, a little vacation.
Vacay.
Family of 4, week or so, he said. He wants to stay at a smallish resort, water, kayaking, fishing, stuff like that. Lower Michigan, ideally. I was like, well, I'm from Southwest Michigan, which is, in my opinion, way better
He wants to
than
be in
Southeast
Lower Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Did you tell him Northern Michigan's better?
Well, that's another 4-hour drive for him.
That's true.
You know, and St. Louis is 6 hours away from my hometown. So I said, well, Southwest Michigan's beautiful, nice sunset. So I told him my hometown, but because my hometown has 2 lakes, small lakes. Lake Michigan is huge. People die there all the time, especially
Why
from out
would
of
you
town.
go there? Why would you go to places where people die?
Why would you go to Michigan? What do you mean?
No.
I'm just saying, like, you got to be careful. You can't just run out in Lake Michigan and be like, ah, la, 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 la. Because undertow, like, there's serious stuff that'll happen in Lake Michigan. Lake Michigan is big, it is crazy. You don't know really what's going on sometimes. Little lake, much easier. You're probably going to survive that. And you don't have to always be having your head on a swivel, especially if you have youngins. You know, I don't want to take my youngin to Lake Michigan. Nuh-uh. No, this is very dangerous. Inward Lake, yeah. Torch Lake, something like that, sure. Pawpaw Lake in Michigan or in Coloma, whatever, that's not bad. You know, it's all right. And so I told him that. I told him South Haven, you know, is a good area. South Haven's very busy in the summer. He might run into Anthony Kiedis, but not Chili Peppers. He's got a house there. Actually, it's in Covert, but he's always at the beach when he goes to Michigan because he's from Grand Rapids. But anyway, that's where he grew up anyway. Yeah, I told him that. And he said that he was actually looking into it. And he looked at the Coloma, South Haven area. And he asked if there's any must-see spots or cozy Main Street attractions that you should try to visit. State parks, family-friendly places. His kids are 10 and 15. And he says he's going to be here in July. And then he put July, like July.
Yeah.
If you're from Arkansas, laugh out loud because I've
funny.
said that before.
Aw.
'Cause that's how they say it.
Yeah.
Come to the July 4th fireworks. I'm like, did you just say July? Like what? Making up words. But anyway, so I was going to recommend DiMaggio's Pizza, which is it's in Riverside / Hager Shore. It's right by Lake Michigan. But you're looking at me like, don't tell him to eat that pizza. But baby, it's good pizza. That's my favorite pizza. It's so good.
I know. It is good pizza.
It's really good. But I don't really know, honey. Like, you're not from there, but we've been there. Like, have I taken you any places that you'd be like, oh, that was pretty cool. We should check that out.
We went to meetings there. Just going to meetings.
But other than that, I don't really know.
There's really not a whole lot going on in Coloma.
Yeah, it's a cool kind of, it used to be cooler, like a little downtown area that takes you a couple things to get through. But I don't really know. So, maybe if people are from that area, it's been a hot minute since I've been there, but I know there's stuff to do. There's a lot of camping. There's a lot of fishing. I know there's like a lake that you can, or like a little river you can kayak down.
I know, growing up downstate, we came up north here to do that kind of stuff. Just because there's so much, there's like...
Well, your side of the state kind of meh.
Because I was from Ann Arbor
Yeah,
area.
it's kind of meh.
It was concrete jungle.
But Sister
Not really,
Lakes
but...
has a bunch of lakes and stuff you can do.
I'm sure there's like hidden gems all over, but you just have to find them.
But I was just thinking if you wanted like the small town, like cottagey kind of thing, like Coloma, Waterville would be a good spot for them. That's not too busy, but yet you can always go to Lake Michigan, or you can always go to different places around there Whereas South Haven, man, it's so freaking busy. Like it's, especially around 4th of July.
Yeah.
I think, was it last year? A few years ago, it seems like there was a shooting down there on 4th of July.
I would say look into like an Airbnb or something.
I think that's what they're doing.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's what I said, like a little something on the lake there. And
I don't know. See, I've never would have never.
well, I've driven you. See, here's the problem: is when I take you places, you just fall asleep.
That's not true.
Like, is that where you live? What's your face?
That is not even true. No.
She pouts.
No.
It's pretty funny. I'm just gonna act
It's
like
not
a
all the way
freak.
true.
I don't even care about where you live
That's
because I wasn't there with you.
no. I am interested in where. I think it's because I have this thing about like whenever, like even when we were in Ann Arbor, like places where I used to buy my alcohol and stuff like that, kind of gives me the creepy crawlies when I'm like when you drive past it. I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's. I want to be as far away from anything
old
that
stomping
reminds
grounds.
me. But I mean, here's the thing though. That's the odd part is because I mean, I was active in my addiction here in this exact town where we live in Traverse City. But I still do have that weird like kind of not anxiety attack, but like heightened whatever.
Honey, are you saying that you want to move? Where do you want to move to?
No. But I have like when we drive past like the bar I used to work at / drink at. Yeah, I always am like, like ugh, yuck, because I knew what a effing disaster I was, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's why I like you're like I stayed in that hotel. I'm like I don't want to know about that. You don't need to tell me about that.
Yeah, it wasn't good times. No, but yeah, if anybody from Michigan, Southwest Michigan is listening, then just hit me up, drop me a line. I'll pass it along because, you know, I've been away for quite a while and, you know, moving back, I wasn't really in the right state of mind. I wasn't really going out to do fun things. So.
Well, we started having kind of a conversation about if we were to move, where we would move when we were visiting in California. Because, well, we want to start sober living houses, you know.
We want to do everything.
We want to do everything. We want to do it all. But anyway.
I can't even take recovery coach training for the state of Michigan.
That's
You don't want to talk
a
about that today?
mistake.
We'll do that Thursday.
Okay. We'll talk about that Thursday.
Yeah, oh, wait, you're going to just love it. Tune in Thursday. Well, you don't have to listen Thursday. You can listen to it whenever, but Thursday's episode will be fun. I'm going to have George on. George is going to be a special guest.
Oh, good.
It'll be fun. We'll have some fun. I'll pull up some old radio bits. Yeah. So people from Southwest Michigan, hit me up. Let me know. I'll let Kevin know. You know, maybe there's a better spot than Coloma. I'm sure there probably is. I would put money on that, actually. But, you know, if he doesn't want to go too far north, you know, Southwest Michigan, it is pretty cool. You know, New Buffalo is pretty cool. I don't really know a lot about that area, but people listen to us from all over. I just don't know that they listen from there. We'll find out. There was something I was going to talk about, but we don't have time for it right now. And maybe we'll do this on Thursday as well.
Okay.
Top 5 albums. Now, not of all time, but just your personal top 5 albums. Because they were doing this on The Ticket, which is, again, my favorite radio station to listen to out of Dallas. They're awesome. Great morning show. But they were talking about this. And they've been talking about it for the last few weeks. But some you just put on, listen to the whole thing from beginning to end. Like your faves.
Well, you want to know how extremely difficult that will be for me?
Yep.
Because I don't think I've listened to one artist's album in like since CDs.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I can go back to old CDs.
Oh, yeah, that's where I'm going.
But I'm not saying I like that music and as much anymore.
No.
But there was a day like that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
where you
Like
put in like that was my jam.
okay. All right, I could do that.
I still listen to some of them from the 90s. I mean, grew up kind of in the 90s. So, yeah, there's some that I still listen to. You know, little throwbacks. And there's some newer ones that I do listen to the whole album.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that. Top 5.
You're going to judge me.
Maybe we'll do yours, or maybe, well, one of us will do on Thursday.
I bet you I could guess 2 of yours.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
Maybe 3.
I'll do mine Thursday and you can do yours Saturday. How about that?
Okay, that's fine.
Or we could do them the same day.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Yeah. We'll see if it all depends on George. If I have George on.
Okay.
If I don't, then we can do them both.
Okay.
Yeah. See, we have fun in recovery. That's what it's about. You know, some people could probably tune in. This is the first time they've been like, man, I want to hear what Dr. So-and-so says about it. Well, we don't do that. We're not doctors. But we do talk about our daily life and stuff that happens to us in recovery. And hopefully that helps other people. If you're super early in recovery, go back to 2019. You know, when I first started the podcast with Rob and Matt, you know, listen to the things I talked about when I was like, man, I'm going to have a badass studio one day and I'm going to get married. I'm going to have kids. So that's coming. But, you know, listen to those things and kind of see where I'm at now. And I talk about, hey, we're going to do transportation. You know, we're doing that now. Mm-hmm. Oh, man, once we get our nonprofit, you know, 501c3, we got that. You know, like look at some of the stuff that, you know, I was able to accomplish. And if I can do it, you can do it. Mm-hmm. You just got to be sober.
Yep.
But yeah, so go back, listen to that stuff. A chance for you to win sober shirts. Mm-hmm. And we're going to auction them in a way where it's more of like a raffle.
And there's a picture of those on the website, right?
I was waiting for the photographer to get them and put them on.
Okay.
But we don't have a photographer.
We'll get a picture of what the shirts look like because people are not going to want to raffle a shirt when they don't know what it looks like.
I know. And that's the only thing stopping us. We have like so many that we could do and actually raise money to help us pay for the app. But I want everything to be free for somebody who needs it. You know, somebody wants to listen to a podcast or get some resources. Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of like one of those things. But yeah. And if somebody, hey, I'll put $5 on, win a sweatshirt, you know, hey, super. Thanks for listening tonight or today or whenever you're listening. Hopefully, maybe you're in the shower, having fun, getting clean. Get it? Because it's a kind of a joke a little bit. Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Getting clean. What?
Getting clean with the 217 Recovery Podcast. Yeah. Thank you. There are resources on our website. If you're looking for sober living, if you're looking for affordable housing, I guess is what they call it. We have links to that.
You have links to the different multiple pathways.
Mm-hmm. I do. I have links to resources for people who maybe just got out of jail, you know, incarcerated, and now you need something. There's jobs for felons. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, felon, I can't get a job. Yeah, there's a link for that. Shelters. Battered women's resources on there. Mm-hmm. There's so many resources on there. On that page, it's crazy, but just go to resources.
Yep.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Have a good day.
Good night, everybody.
All right, I'm out.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. Don't forget to check out our special episodes found only on the 217 Recovery app.